was going to hear you laughing.
Good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure of welcoming students from the C.J. Hooker Orchestra under the direction of Mr. Bart Schindler. I will turn things over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're very excited to be here tonight. We have members of our chamber orchestra, 7th and 8th graders. We're going to play a couple selections from our concert and a couple of new ones as well. We're going to start with a piece titled Simple Gifts, which may be familiar to some of you. So let's start with that. Let's see. Now we Thank you. Our next selection will be is a Disney favorite entitled Let It Go. Thank you. I'd like to just make a quick introduction of our students. I will start with our sixth graders. Lauren Henderson, violin. I'm sorry, seventh graders. I missed a year. Seventh graders, Lauren Henderson, violin. Adrian Flanagan on cello. Emily Langlitz on violin. Zara Singh on viola. Chloe Natal on violin. Luther Fortugno Harris on violin, and Ellis Rocchio, our seventh graders. One more, hold on, one more. Olivia Goronsky, I'm sorry. Our eighth graders, Robert Gatto on violin, Zoe Panzer, viola, Gemma Maxwell, eighth grader, violinist, all-county member this year, Emily Schmidt, violin and all-county member, seventh and eighth grade, Anna Mayo, cello, Grace McAndrews, violin, Emily Loftus, cello, all-county, seventh and eighth grade, Priya Patel, violin, Clara Byers, viola, Anna Heater, viola, and Grace DeClerc, bass. Did I miss anyone? Our next one will be Jupiter by Gustav Holst. Because I don't want you guys to grow up. So I want you to stay with me for a while. Jupiter. This next one is our finale is Takatina. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for coming tonight. Thank you to all the parents who brought them out tonight, taking time in such a busy time of the year. And wow, just to see the culmination of your whole entire year. I can't wait to see the next few years when you continue playing. Great job, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll just take a quick 2 minutes and we can let Good evening, everyone. I'd like to open the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District tonight, Monday, June 5th. And tonight's meeting is in the District Administration Building and being live streamed through YouTube. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of meditation. If you could all please keep in your thoughts the family of Jim Masker, who passed away last week. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda, recognitions and presentations. I'm very excited that we have our Odyssey of the Mind World's competitors here this evening, and I don't want to take anything away from you. So, okay, I will turn it over to you, Becky.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here on behalf of Goshen Odyssey of the Mind. We've had another very successful year. We started off with 8 teams, and 2 of our teams went to world finals, and I'm gonna tell you. Oh, that's much better. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that tonight. So if I'm not good with microphones, I'm really not good with this, but we'll try.
I got to the chair yet, that thing.
No pressure, John. We're just live.
It's totally fine. I have no pressure. Just,
Okay, great. Okay, so, whoops, we skipped a slide. There it is. Okay, I wanted to show you them celebrating. This is our 2 teams celebrating at Syracuse at the New York State Finals. And they had a lot to celebrate. Now, these 2 teams, it's interesting. They both competed in the same problem, problem 3, the classics, which is a very competitive problem. And for this problem, we had my little Trojan horse there because it's based on the Iliad. And the teams in their 8-minute performances had to put their own creative spin on this legendary tale. So our Division 1 team had a cupcake competition. Oh, okay, well, you almost saw the cute little cupcakes. Oh, here they are. Okay, there they are, the cute little cupcakes and Aphrodite and Hector and the living statue. And they did such a great job that they came in 1st place at regionals and 1st place in New York State. And they were 19th at Worlds out of 56 teams. So in 2nd place, and they have different categories in the style category. So this is a huge accomplishment. And so I'd like to call up right now the coach of this amazing team, Rachel Losi. Here's your certificate. Thank you. I'll put it in here.
Yeah.
So first up, my child, Penelope Losi, come on up. Next up is Betty Collado. Celia Ortega is at softball practice. We'll get back to her later. William Ortega. Gabe Byers is at soccer practice, so we'll get back to him later.
Good picture with you.
This team is returning next year, all of the members, and so we're expecting big things from them in Division Two. They're moving up to Division Two. Wow. Okay, and now, our Division Three team also did the same problem. And they had an entirely different take on it. It was hubris trying to change his destiny so he could be reunited with his lover Faith. This team always does really complicated solutions because they're super smart, and their storylines are amazing, and so are their creations. There they are, creativity at work, amazing style, and actually, they brought in some of their things. They have them over here. Can you guys just march them over here for a second? And so if we have a break, sometimes we do, but you can take a look at these. It is amazing work, hours and hours, and I'm not exaggerating, hours and hours and hours and hours of work. Buttons, and of course, they have their big trophy here too, which is so heavy. And so I just can't emphasize enough that this team, when they win, they're New York State champions and world champions, it is a huge, huge accomplishment. Okay, teams from China, Poland, Singapore, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Korea, they beat them all. So I'd like to call up their amazing coach, Heidi Seligman, to help present the certificates. And by the way, Senator Skouflis wanted to be here, but he couldn't. He's in Albany. But anyway, he sends his congratulations. So here's your certificate. Congratulations. And Carly Seligman.
Hannah Barhorse, who's on an art trip, so she's not. Ray Hunter. Jacqueline Thorne.
Okay, as we're getting the picture here, I just want to say that this isn't the first time this team has won. This is their third time, 3-time world champion. So it's just, and really, it's a lot. The team is talented, but the coach has to be so dedicated, and Heidi Seligman has given hours and hours of her time and guidance to take this team. They never lose spontaneous. They keep winning it over and over again. And they even went hands-on this year, which is particularly difficult. You didn't think you could do it. So, but I just want to say that there's 4 members of this team that have won this tremendous award 3 times. And I just wanted to give them special recognition. Sion, and just wave. Greg, Nathan, and Carly. Also, thank everyone for their support. The Goshen School Board has been wonderful. The administration has been wonderful. Thank you for packing and moving our set. Jim Freeze with Building and Grounds. So everyone, thank you. And thank you for the community for all your support always.
It bears repeating, Mrs. Laskowski named so many different groups that keep a program like this not only going, but keep it as successful as it is. First and foremost, our student competitors, for you to win 3 years in a row, not just state, but world champions, that is so incredible, and what an accomplishment that you'll be able to carry with you forever. Our coaches, the number of hours that our coaches put in, the emails that we see back and forth, the requests for help, the tireless commitment that you make to this program. It's what makes our school great, programs like this, so thank you. And parents, you go unrecognized so frequently, you are the ones that get them here, you are the ones that make sure that they get to the competitions. We couldn't do it without you and we couldn't do it without your support. This is truly a team effort and it's programs like this that make Goshen a great school and make it a great place to work and to live. So thank you for everything that you do. Congratulations.
Just take a quick 1 minute. You're more than welcome to stay for the meeting. If you'd like to leave, we understand. Next on the agenda, I'm gonna jump ahead, because this individual needs to leave, to the student representatives report. Michael Lombard.
So for the updates at the high school, we had the GHS award ceremony. It was a packed house with many awards given to students across the boards in academics, clubs, organizations, community, and scholarships. We had the third quarter honor roll and merit roll were named, and congratulations again to the Odyssey of the Mind team and their huge accomplishment. And now in sports, we had the boys track team, which are named Section 9 champions. It was the last time they won since in 20 years. The event was hosted at the Goshen High School, as well attended by many schools and athletes. GHS has 3 athletes that will be advancing to states in Carissa Logan, Jaden Bissono, and Lalo Essesonessen. GHS girls lacrosse team is Section 9 champions and advanced in regionals. Braden Galatic is tennis singles Section 9 champion, advanced to the singles finals in states. 2023 OCAII scholarship athletes are Goshen High School's own Anna Loader of volleyball with 103 average and Caleb Bayal of track with 101 average. Congratulations to both on this honor. And we have the GHS as the recipient of the New York State PHAA Award of Excellence of Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity. And lastly, for donations are being requested for the Bus Driver Appreciation Day, which will be taking place on June 13th. They will be accepting monetary donations as well as specific donations. It can be found on the link on the website. Thank you.
You did leave off one thing. Didn't you recently play the trumpet for the national anthem?
Yep.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, at the county legislator.
Thank you.
So good job there. And
Thank
are you staying with us next year or what's going on? Should we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Is this your last meeting?
Next
You will be
Yeah.
coming? Okay, good. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is executive session. I need a motion. I have Tom and Shannon. Be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter into executive session with the intent to reconvene the business portion of the meeting. Discussions related to an impartial hearing, a student discipline issue, and matters leading to the appointment of a particular corporation. All those in favor? Opposed? Need a motion to re-enter into the business portion of the meeting? I have Shannon and Ashley. Next on the agenda, privilege of floor. We do not have any signups this evening. Next, president's report. I actually had a lot of things, but I do know that we have some folks coming in to fill us in, so I don't want to take away from your reports. I just want to remind some folks who can attend, the bus driver appreciation is this Wednesday. I know that the policy committee met last week, so I am looking forward to that update. I did want to congratulate, we all saw that, congratulations to Principal Kristen Driscoll and her husband Charlie on the birth of their twin daughters, Margaret Grace, I believe that they're calling her Maggie, and Charlotte Rose, Charlie, and that was on May 24th, so congratulations to all of them. A reminder that TEDx is this week as well on Thursday night. So you can still get your tickets, and I think they're available at the door. I think that was it, because we are gonna be receiving updates from athletics, probably from you, Mr. Carter. So that is all I have for my report. We already did the student representative report. And next on the agenda is the legislative update, OXPA, Mr. Tom Loftus.
Thank you. No update this evening. Our annual meeting is coming up this Wednesday. So after that, I'll have an update for everybody.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report, Dr. Curtis Coates.
Thank you, Mrs. Salty. It's an exciting time of the year. We have the second batch of our hiring here tonight. We're excited to welcome all of our newest staff members. Maybe tonight I will start over on my right-hand side, if you don't mind standing and introducing yourself to the board, maybe sharing a little something about yourself. Mr. Capuchano, we'll start with you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Cappucciamo. I'm a longtime Goshen resident. I graduated in 2017. I'm just really excited for the opportunity to give back to the Goshen community. Goshen schools especially just built so much character and really made me the person I am today. So I'm eternally grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
So, Keisha Kempsey, English teacher. It's going to be my 16th year teaching English. I am excited to join the Goshen Central School District and look forward to joining the learning community here. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is Annabelle Tafkar. I've been filling in the year-long leave replacement for fourth grade. And I'm happy to say that I'm going to be continuing in fourth grade as a part of the GIS community, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much.
Good evening, I'm Maya DeWitt. I'm going to be in the high school as an AIS math teacher, and I'm coming into my second year of teaching, and I'm very excited to continue my journey in Goshen.
Hi, I'm Erin Hawthorne. I'm from Monroe, and I'm really excited to join the Goshen community. I will be an AIS math teacher at Scotch and I'm really excited.
Hi, my name is Amanda Ortiz. I will be an AIS teacher in the middle school. I'm really excited to be working with you guys. I love working with this community and I can't wait to see how it works.
Hi, my name is Heather Pierce. I'm coming from St. Martin de Porres School in Poughkeepsie. I will be teaching 7th grade math at the middle school, and I'm excited to join the Goshen community.
Yes, my name is Christina Herrick. I'm a Goshen resident. I have been teaching for 18 years, and I'm very excited to be an AIS teacher at Scotchtown Avenue.
So welcome to all of our newest staff members. It is so exciting to have you with us tonight, and this is just the beginning of a journey. This is an investment on behalf of the district, and your attendance tonight is a sign that we will accept of your affirmation to the commitment we know that you will give to the district, and most importantly, the students and the families that we serve each and every day. So thank you for being here. I'm going to keep moving on in my agenda, if that's okay. In your packets tonight is a draft calendar for our board meeting schedule for next year. We tried to be very careful of working around any of the conflicts that we potentially would have. We worked in the middle of the year where there's a lot of recess, a lot of holidays to pick times that would fall only in the middle of the month. We worked at the end of the year to be able to spread it out around graduation, to be able to adopt the list of graduates. And then also even projecting out a little bit further, that last meeting also would piggyback into the reorganization meeting for July of 2024. July 1st actually falls on a Monday, I believe, when we looked at the calendar. And if there are no concerns on that calendar, we would just go ahead and adopt that. Obviously, the board always reserves the right to move or to change the meeting at its discretion, but we spent a lot of time trying to be very, very careful about where we place these dates for next year. Questions I can address there? So the next piece is, I did share with the board a proposal for the Goshen Intermediate School roof. As we know, this is something that needs to be addressed. We have had Tremco, the current contractor that is completing the work at Goshen, come and complete a thermal scan. They have deemed that the Goshen Intermediate School roof is eligible for refurbishment and would be within budget to what we have appropriated through our annual transfer to capital, and be asking the board to approve that resolution to allow land to just start the design process so that we can move that work forward as soon as possible. We had a great taste of it tonight, but the spring concert series has been fantastic between Goshen Intermediate School, the middle school, and all of our students. It's a true testament to the growth of the music program. The orchestra program continues to explode. We saw over the winter time full symphony orchestra at the high school. They almost didn't fit on the stage. We're so grateful to our teachers, to our families that keep that commitment going. But it's really a nice way to finish a year that's been very, very busy, to see the hard work of our students. I'm going to invite Mr. St. Lawrence forward. I had started to list out some of our, not just our academic, but our athletic accomplishments this year. And I figured who better person to give you direct input on everything that occurred, not just for the spring season, but for the entire year. And I asked him to just come forward and be able to share all of that great news with the board. So Mr. St. Lawrence.
Dr. Coach, thank you very much. I hope everybody can hear me. I want to thank the Board of Education for giving me this opportunity also to speak, and also congratulate everybody who is joining the Goshen community. Before I get into my little recollection of the spring, I want to say, as I walked in and I saw the concert and saw those young people, it reminded me of the importance of the second part of education, and to remind all the young teachers here in Goshen, education does not stop in the four walls of a classroom. It continues on beyond the regular classroom day into the co-curricular activities. To see the odyssey of the mind and the results of those young people and the teachers and the dedication, it's just wonderful to know a few moments of hard work and a lifetime of memories. So with that being said, I'm going to use that as a segue into just a few highlights of what has happened this past spring with our athletic program. I want to thank Michael Lombardi, even though he's not here, he's always on top of it, always wants to make sure that the Board of Education and the community know what we're doing in the athletic fields. So I'm going to open, if I may, with what I think is a great honor here for our athletic programs. This year we had 8 teams in the spring recognized by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Scholar Athlete Program. Nearly 100 students that were on those 8 teams that represented us very well. And that included the following teams: our softball team, our boys tennis team, our boys and girls track teams, all scholar athlete teams, our boys and girls golf teams, our girls lacrosse team, and our unified basketball program all were recognized on the state level. So always nice to know the dual abilities of scholar athletes both on and off the field. I'm going to talk a little bit about, if I may, the Section 9 championships that we've had this spring. I'm honored as your athletic director to share with you that I was at a couple of these things and really wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a personal about how well we did. First, I want to talk about the two teams. The first team is our girls Section 9 championship, a season that hinged on a few goals here or there. A team that won the championship after being up 8-5 at halftime. And the opposing team, Saugerties, coming out the number 1 seed, we were the number 2 seed, and Saugerties coming out and scoring 7 consecutive goals. Absolutely dominated play for the first half of the second half, and all of a sudden Goshen found themselves down 12-8. And the resolve of that team and those girls came back to win that game 14-13, win the section championship, and then be able to move on to the States. And in the States, we unfortunately got beat by a very strong team, but we were in the final 8 for New York State in girls lacrosse. And I just think that's something that is important to know, but it's also important to know a little bit of the background about how they got there and what it meant, and be able to see that on the field for me, and hopefully everybody in the audience and everybody listening can have a little bit of a flavor of what that was like. I now want to transition to the boys track team. Having a background in track and field myself, we have fantastic numbers in track and field here at Goshen. We have fantastic participation numbers this spring, probably the highest percentage of any school that we compete against in our size. And our boys track team, for the first time in 21 years, won a section title. And they did it not by 1 or 2 kids, they did it by scoring in just about every event and did it as a team. And when it was all said and done and the crowd was going away and we were finishing up the final point totals, those team members stayed on that. We hosted it on that 50-yard line and took the picture at the end, and they hosted that trophy. And it's just a great thing to see the enthusiasm of the kids and how much it meant to them to be able to stay on that field right to the very end and be recognized with that. The next one I want to tell you is a special Section 9 championship we had this year. We have a young man who's a junior. This is an individual section title, and this was done in boys tennis. And we have not had a boys tennis section chairperson in as many years as I can remember. And this gray hair will tell you I've been around a little bit. But I want to share something about this particular young man. I had a chance to meet him early on in the year. He's a junior, and he is ranked number 9 in the nation for his age group. I'm not saying Northeast, I'm not saying high school, I'm talking number 9 in the nation for his age group. And he decided that he wanted to have a chance to be a part of our boys tennis team. And I had never seen him play until the section finals. And that also happened to be at match point here in Goshen. I went down there that day and I saw a tremendous effort defeating the senior who was the Section 9 champion from Cornwall in a match, 2 sets straight. And it was just amazing to see the difference in the sound of that ball coming off that tennis racket when he was playing. So I'm very honored both for the teams and for the individuals. I just wanted to take a little moment to share that with you. His name is Brandon Gilitich, and Brandon is a junior, and Brandon finished 2nd in New York State this year as a junior. His first time being involved in high school tennis. All of his tennis prior to was done on the club level. So hopefully we'll be returning. Had a fantastic showing. He is the highest tennis player in the history of Section 9 to play in the individual level. We've never had anybody from Section 9 in all the schools in all the years ever make it to the state final, and he did it this year. So I just want to give you a little bit of the background on those championship teams. If I may, you know what, let's give them a round of applause. If I may, I want to also mention Isabella Oak, who qualified for the state in golf, girls golf. She was our best girls golfer. She has a great career ahead of her, 4 more years to go. Very, very talented young lady. We also heard Michael talk about the boys track team and the girls track team and what they have coming up for the States on June 10th. But I want to tell you a little bit about the teams that were scholar athletes. I want to tell you the teams that were all section qualifiers. So we had in boys baseball, a section qualifying team who lost in the first round to Minnesink. In girls softball, we had a section qualifying team who lost in the second round to FDR, who later became the Section 9 champion. In boys lacrosse, we finished 2nd in our division. We made the sections. We won our first ever boys lacrosse sectional game. We lost in the next round in the finals to the eventual section champion. In girls golf, we were division champions. They do not have a Section 9 champion. In boys golf, we were runner-up. In girls lacrosse, as I mentioned to you, we actually were the number 2 seed, and Saugerties was the number 1 seed, and we ended up being section champions and then making it into the final 8 of New York State. And then we talked a little bit about our boys track team. With all that being said, you might say, well, Mr. St. Lawrence, that's a pretty good year, a pretty good spring, and it is. And it's reflective of what we saw here tonight with our other athletes and our other students, I should say, in Goshen. We're very excited, as are the teams, to share in this Excellence Award, which was mentioned about Michael. I want to say to you that this was granted to us by New York State Public High School Athletic Association in our efforts for this particular year in in sportsmanship, ethics, and integrity. That goes not just with the students, but also with the coaches, also with the officials. We get graded and rated by how people perceive Goshen as a team who has integrity, ethics, and sportsmanship. And for us to receive this award in Section 9 is a great honor, and we're actually in the finals or in the running, I should say, to win it for the state. So we've qualified, and hopefully we'd like to see that this award continue beyond just this year. So we're very excited about that happening in the spring. I had the honor to attend with our principal, Mr. Pantaleone, and our superintendent, Dr. Coates, the Scholar Athlete Breakfast on June 1st. And that Scholar Athlete Breakfast, we basically honored 2 young athletes who are outstanding top decile in our school academically. Anna Loader, who is our volleyball captain, she's going to Cornell, was our Scholar Athlete female. And Caleb Ayu, track and field, going to Bucknell to continue his track efforts, was our boys Scholar Athlete this year. And I'd like to close out my report, if I may, by saying to you, we had a great event on May 30th at the high school. And that event was our senior signing day, where young people who've been involved in athletics for their career here, the seniors, actually make a letter of intent and commitment to continue their athletic endeavors beyond Goshen High School. We had 13 students who arrived that day, got a chance to get recognized, and they're going off to schools to continue, some locally, some at University of Rhode Island and Hartford, and I won't go over the whole list, but it was a very emotional day for me, because at that point in time, when you see the people that you've worked with all year as an athletic director, and the coaches there, and the superintendent and principals there, and most importantly, the parents there, to be able to send these young people off with the ideals that they've learned at Goshen Athletics is, I think, something that we all should be proud of. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak publicly about what we're doing. And if anybody has any questions, if I left anybody out, or if I left something out, I apologize in advance, but we're very, very honored. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. St. Lawrence. And to steal from someone that I've come to admire very quickly, we wouldn't do it without being one team. So
One team.
thank you for being the leader.
That's how we
Appreciate it.
work it. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody.
Last but very not least, we are certainly on the home stretch. We've seen many great events for our senior class. We've had our senior barbecue, we've had our senior trip, we had our prom this last week. I just want to give a very special thank you to our advisors, Mrs. Lawrence, Mrs. Myers. They put some great effort in so that senior experience coming out of COVID has been something wonderful for our students, and their leadership is so greatly appreciated as we get ready for graduation coming up in just a few short weeks. Very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Coates. Next on the agenda is Assistant Superintendent for Business Report. Are you filling in?
There's nothing.
Nothing in? Okay. Next on the agenda, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, Personnel, and Technology Report, Mr. Jason Carter.
Thank you, Mrs. Salty. Good evening, everyone. Just a brief update for you. Last meeting, we talked about the Goshen Central School Summer Academy. So I'd like to give you some of the statistics that we've seen come in through the 2 invitations that we've sent out. Regarding ELA, we did send out 645 total invitations. As I had mentioned previous, we did send out a large amount of invitations. So 645 total invitations for ELA. And as of 4:45 this afternoon, we had 169 students and families accept the invite. Unfortunately, we did have to date 144 decline, and we're still waiting on 332 responses. Regarding math, we sent out 686 total invitations. Again, as of 4:45 this afternoon, we had 199 students and families accept the invitations. 154 declined, and we are waiting on 333 responses. Dr. Coates and I have been discussing potential shut-off date. So I'd like to think that, with a few weeks in already, possibly at the end of this week, we'll send notifications to have the responses turned off. That way we can properly plan with staffing. So regarding staff, again, to date, we have 13 teachers, 6 teaching assistants, and 18 teacher aides employed by Goshen Central Schools that have applied to gain that employment during the summer months. And we've also had 21 teachers, 3 teaching assistants apply from outside the district. So I'd like to think we can employ those that are in district and reach out to those that are outside of our district and be properly staffed as we get into July. And I will keep you updated as we move. Also wanted to just update the board quickly on the ELA textbook committee. So as you know, we met as a committee of 20 plus teachers, administrators, myself included, looking at 3 potential textbook programs to bring into the district for K-6. So we have our next meeting on June 7th, which will be this Wednesday at 2:30. And hopefully we can collaborate and select a program together that we can bring in preparation for September. I'm well aware that it's June, so we do have to have some professional development, and we'd like to have that open as quickly as possible. We have to get through the acquisition phase as quickly as we can, and that's in process. And that's it for me this evening. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Next on the agenda, I need a motion for the consent agenda. Brett and Tom. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts the retirement of Linda Clavel, cook manager, effective June 24th, 2023. Mrs. Clavel has been with the district for 26 years. Be it further resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts the retirement of Frances Clavel, custodian, effective June 20th, 2023. Mr. Clavel has been with the district for 14 years. I'd like to congratulate both of them. Be it further resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the remainder of the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? This is the follow-up I forgot last time. Congratulations to all of you, all the new hires. It is now official. And if you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome to take offense. But congratulations again. It is official.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Next on the agenda, there is no old business. I need a motion for the approval of minutes. I have Shannon and Scott. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the minutes for the May 17th, 2023 regular board meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to approve an agreement for special education services. I have Ashley and Tom. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement for services with Therapeutic Horizons to provide physical therapy services to special education students according to the following terms. 2022-2023 school year, $120 per 30-minute treatment session for in-home services. 2023-2024 school year, $120 per hour for in-district services. $120 per 30-minute treatment session for in-home services, and $480 per evaluation. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Opposed? Need a motion to approve agreement for special education services. I have Brett and Ashley. Be it resolved, the Board of Education enters into an agreement with Dr. John Mahoney from Creative Arts Therapy Works, PLLC, to provide music therapy services for students in need of such services for the 2023-2024 school year at a rate of $105 per hour. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need I need a motion to approve garbage, refuse and recycling removal agreement between the Village of Goshen and the school district. I have Shannon and Scott. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approve the agreement between the district and the Village of Goshen for garbage. Is it refuse? Refuse, thank you, I knew I was saying it wrong. And recycling removal for a 3-year period effective July 1st, 2023 as follows. School year 23-24, $59,059. School year 24-25, $61,059. School year 25-26, $63,559. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Opposed? Need a motion to approve proposal for comprehensive transportation study. I have Brett and Tom. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, Board of Education approves a proposal with the Pupil Transportation Safety Institute to study the district's transportation program for effectiveness, efficiency, compliance, and potential cost savings according to the following terms. $17,455, all services included in scope of services, $1,500 per day, any requested work beyond the scope of services. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion for 14.6, approve the lease between Goshen School District and Orange Ulster BOCES for CJ Hooker lease. And Tom and Shannon. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the board president to sign the lease agreement between Orange Ulster BOCES and the Goshen Central School District for office space at CJ Hooker Middle School to house the BOCES Interscholastic Athletic Coordinator in the amount of $9,682 for the 2023-2024 school year. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to approve an increase to the general fund. Ashley and Scott. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District authorizes an appropriation of $900,000 to the general fund from the unappropriated fund balance for the purpose of purchasing security cameras, door swipes, and vape detectors in the amount of $550,000 to account code A1622490000601.462 and $350,000 to account code A1680.40 to replace fiber optic lines throughout the district. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve an increase to capital reserve fund. I have Tom and Brett. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District authorizes the transfer of unappropriate fund balance to the capital reserve fund in the amount of $330,000. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion for 14.9 to approve increase to the tax tertiary reserve. I have Shannon and Ashley. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District authorizes the transfer of unappropriated fund balance in excess of 4% after the 2022-23 books have been closed and audited to the tax tertiary reserve fund. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve an addendum to the agreement to the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, Personnel, and Technologies contract. I have Brett and Tom. Be it resolved that the board president is hereby authorized to execute an addendum agreement dated June 5th, 2023, effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 to the contract for the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, Personnel, and Technology. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to approve an addendum agreement to Assistant Superintendents for Business contract. I have Shannon and Tom. Be it resolved that the board president is hereby authorized to execute an addendum agreement dated June 5th, 2023, effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 to the contract for the Assistant Superintendent for Business. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 14.12, I need a motion to approve terms and conditions for department directors. Okay, Ashley and Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the terms and conditions for department directors of the Goshen Central School District effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion for the declaration of obsolete equipment. We have Brett and Scott. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the equipment identified by the district's director of information and technology be declared obsolete and disposed of in a memorandum to the Board of Education dated June 5th, 2023 in accordance with board policy number 5250 be and is hereby approved. All those in favor? Opposed? Maureen, do you want me to read entire 14.14? I can, you do. Okay. Give me a second. I need a motion for the declaration of emergency remediation of CJ Hooker asbestos flooring material. I have Scott and Ashley. Whereas the district has discovered asbestos containing flooring material in multiple classrooms where the wear of the carpet on top of said flooring material has created unsafe condition in the CJ Hooker Middle School in the Goshen Central School District, and whereas some or all of the flooring material has asbestos containing adhesives which will necessitate asbestos abatement, including Department of Labor required air samples, air monitoring and testing prior to remediation activities. And whereas, upon review of the situation by the district's architects and district buildings and grounds department, it was determined that the condition of the flooring requires immediate remediation, including asbestos abatement, to ensure the safety of those occupying these classrooms and to preserve the district's property at the middle school. And whereas, the board is empowered to determine that the expense of these activities is an ordinary contingent expense within the meaning of Code 2023 of the New York State Education Law and Code 170.21 of the Regulations of Commissioner of Education, and that the project constitutes an emergency to allow for the abatement and remediation, including air testing and monitoring activities, to be approved by the State Education Department on an expedited basis. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby determines and declares that the cost of the abatement and remediation of the flooring materials at the middle school, including air testing and monitoring and incidental costs and expenses, constitutes an ordinary contingent expense within the meaning of Code 2023 of the Education Law and Code 170.21 of the Regulations of the Commissioner of Education, and constitutes an emergency and hereby authorizes the expenditure of those funds necessary for such purposes. And be it further resolved that the board hereby determines that the abatement and remediation activities described above at the middle school, including air testing and monitoring, will not have a significant environmental impact, and declares this project a type 2 action pursuant to Code 617.5 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act regulations, and no further action is required. And be it further resolved that the superintendent of schools is hereby authorized to file the necessary and proper paperwork with the State Education Department to proceed with the emergency remediation of the asbestos containing flooring material at the middle school. And be it further resolved that the superintendent of schools, the district architect and or engineer are hereby authorized to immediately prepare any necessary specifications for this emergency project. All those in favor? Opposed?
Can you elaborate on something a little bit? I think it's just good to note in that very long proposal, the word emergency was used quite frequently, but the building's architects and engineers did not deem any life safety emergency. It was explained to us that by making this resolution allows us to very much expedite the approval process at the state level. So I just thought that was important to point out, since we said emergency about 15 times. There is no life safety emergency.
Good point, thank you. I need a motion for 14.15, approve and accept proposal from Land for services related to roof replacement restoration at Goshen Intermediate School. and Shannon and Ashley. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the proposal from Land Associates Engineering, Planning, Architecture, Surveying LLP dated June 1st, 2023, to provide architectural and engineering services related to the roof replacement restoration at Goshen Intermediate School at a fee of $93,000 for said services. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute the proposal. All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to authorize action in an impartial hearing case. I have Tom and Scott. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District hereby authorizes its special counsel to commence a proceeding in the appropriate court for enforcement of a subpoena seeking records in connection with case number 590630 in the New York State Education Department's impartial hearing reporting system. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the 2023-2024 board meeting schedule. I have Tom and Brett. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the 2023-2024 board meeting schedule as presented. All those in favor? Opposed? Next on the agenda is privilege of the floor. I don't believe that there was any additional signups. And next on the agenda is board member issues and committee reports. I do know that we had a couple of meetings. The audit committee meeting was this evening before the board meeting. And happy to report that there were no findings. So a good report overall. I don't know if you want to add to that, Dr. Phillips, or.
No, we're just trying to be critical of the testing areas that we look at. We've talked about numerous items and personnel to look at, and we're actually preparing for a year-end audit with the external auditor coming up in June and July as well. They're going to be looking critically at the grant monies through CRSA, any of the other federal monies, and we'll be doing so until those monies are exhausted and expire.
Thank you for that. And then I know, I hope that Tom has an update with the policy committee.
Yes, policy committee met last week. So first, I just wanted to thank all the members of the Goshen community that came out and applied to be part of our code of conduct committee review. We reviewed all of the applicants, went through them very thoroughly, and selected a cross-section of individuals with students in different buildings. Dr. Coates will be reaching out to everyone shortly with the goal to have the code of conduct fully reviewed, implemented, and updated, ready for the new school year. So, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Any other board member issues? Next on the agenda, I need a motion to enter into executive session. We have Ashley and Tom. Be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter into executive session with the intent not to reconvene the business portion of the meeting for discussions related to the employment history of a particular person or persons. All those in favor? Thank you, everyone. This concludes tonight's business portion.